Move to California, and if you're the right shade of color, you can get just about $250,000. What? Oh my God. We already seen the books get exposed in California not that long ago. They're losing money. And you know what? Now they're going to start giving it away. I don't think that my prognostication, I posited this idea a few different times ago in a bunch of different videos. There's going to be a system of equalization payments put in a bunch of different states around the union. The exact same system that many other more socialist leaning countries that are going to be out there like Canada has. Okay, Alberta, the province in which I reside, pays for just about the entire fucking economy. Quebec is a massive draw. Ontario is about a break even. Manitoba does nothing. Saskatchewan's pretty good. They're strong, but they're a distant second. And BC, well, I think they're about to break even as well. And then as for the Maritimes and the territories, don't make me fucking laugh. But in order for this entire large mass, or landmass? That's not a word. Landmass to stay afloat economically, Alberta has to shill out and make sure that everybody else gets paid, because Quebec, we need to, prop up their cheese and, I don't know, hockey jersey industry with, natural resources. And I've dug through the numbers on that one in videos in the past, okay? I can see this exact same system because there's so many stupid fucking states just nosediving towards bankruptcy. Illinois, New York, a few other states in the Northeast as well, and California. Because, yeah, guess what? Gavin Newsom, on the heels of his recall election in 2021, he cooked the books to make it look like California's healthy, guys. We got a surplus this time around. How many millions of dollars now are you going to be running a deficit for in perpetuity into the future? Yeah, California is not doing good. They're down bad, and they have to realize that their tax base, they're fucking leaving in droves because they're shouldering the burden on all this stuff. 60% on the highest tax bracket. That's what people are paying in California. What's the incentive to stay there? Sure, the weather's nice, but you also have to dodge human feces and needles on the streets. Get fucked. But now, guys, don't worry. Gavin Newsom's got the solution. Reparations. And it will recommend handing out $223,200 per person. Sorry, what? To all descendants of slaves in California. Okay, maybe I should move down to California. I've got some extended family that lives in the area. Well, I'm part Irish. They were held as slaves. Ukrainian. That one there. Native Canadian, I guess that would be as well. And Scottish. Okay, shouldn't I get reparation for slavery too? Like, is that the way that this shit works? Can I get a free 6-digit handout? But they're doing this all under the auspices of housing discrimination. No. Slave owners, put a grass roof over those, slaves' head. Like, come on now, that wasn't discrimination. They had a place to stay. Are you just mad that they don't have their own tents on the sidewalks now? I get it. At a cost of, $559 billion, the nation's biggest restitution effort ever. What a fucking laugh. Reparations Committee in California has suggested that descendants of slaves in the state could be compensated $223,200 each for housing discrimination. Wow. And the 9-member Reparations Task Force was formed by California Governor Gavin Newsom as part of the country's largest ever effort to address reparations for slavery. You gotta be fucking joking. I can see somebody else just off on the sidebar on Daily Mail right there who claims to be black as well and is in, or at least has residency in California. Meghan Markle. Wouldn't that be just fucking hilarious if somebody puts in a claim for $250,000? That would make me, oh my God. If she does that, I will put out a minute-long video of me just laughing the entire time. I'm going to cap it at a minute, mostly because I think that there's a probability of it happening. But then at the same time, I can only annoy people for so long. It'll go on Twitter. I'll do it there if that does happen. Focus of the California Task Force has been housing discrimination. It has been estimated that it would cost around $369 billion to compensate 2.5 million black Californians for setbacks between 1933 and 1977. Wait, what? 1933? So redlining. What are you talking about? Slavery and shit. That is more than California's $512.8 billion expenditure in 2021, which includes funding for schools, hospitals, universities, highways, policing, and corrections. Yeah, but reparations and shit. However, discussions are still underway. It's like, how are we going to flip the bill? I don't know. Biden? Just make the money machine go brrrr. But how should payments be made? Some suggested tuition. Ah, yes, use commie money to go to commie institutions to learn commie ideas. Makes a lot of sense, don't you think? And housing grants, while others proposed cash. Of course, we could imagine who was proposing cash. It's like, yeah, I'd like my money in cash. Okay, make the check out to cash. That'd be great. Task Force has also identified 4 other causes for reparations. Mass incarceration. Sorry, what? Unjust property seizure. Okay, you got my attention on that one because that shit is basically theft by the police, okay? Devaluation of black businesses and healthcare. Sorry, what? It has until June 2023 to submit its final recommendation to the legislature. Wow. Their estimates came back and the task force hosted meetings across the state to meet with members of black communities. Well, if all taxpayers in California are theoretically going to end up footing this half a trillion dollar bill, wouldn't you think that they should have No, you're white, go sit over there. We're caring about the 5% of Californians that are out there? 6.5%, 2.5 million people. Great, wonderful, fantastic. Glad we're hearing from them and not any of those evil white people. But yes, they're hearing from members of the black community to better understand the economic impacts of slavery. Yeah, but you're only caring about housing in 1930. What? What are we doing? No. Oh my god, bro, this is omega stupid. Like, I can't. Wow. Okay. Yeah, those black people look like they're doing real bad about the doctor. Yeah, doctor. Clearly hampered by slavery. We are looking at reparations on the scale of the largest since Reconstruction. Yeah, sorry, there's not enough room for everybody to get 40 acres and a mule, but we can still meet you halfway. How about Section 8 housing and a golf cart? Updated for modern audience. Task Force member Jovan Scott Lewis, a professor at Berkeley. Ideas this stupid could have only come from one place. I'm not terribly shocked. One example of housing discrimination the task force has considered is Russell City. Were all the blacks living there? A city that once existed near San Francisco's shoreline and provided refuge to black families fleeing violence in the Deep South. Okay, so things that theoretically happened in other states. So a city that was set up as just kind of an early de facto sanctuary city because they were all going there. That means that racism, you're going to have to connect the dots on this one. Task Force, oh no, we're just moving right along, fuck it. Was told by people that lived in Russell City, which has since been bulldozed. Oh, see, that's the racism, that the area was replaced with an industrial park and residents were expelled. Yeah, just because it was set up, bro, it's kind of like, the Chaz or the Chop in Seattle. Well, it was set up by people that were protesting systemic racism, and then the mean cops came in and cleared the fucking place out after people started getting shot at. You didn't own the place. It just looked like it was somewhere that people we don't even know the history of. You're just telling us, but whatever, dude. One former resident, Monique Henderson Ford, told the Times that she was paid out $2,200 for her home. Less than a third of what she has bought it for. Can you corroborate that? Okay. And if this was happening a long fucking time ago, we can go ahead and adjust this for inflation. And why is this the burden of the state to go ahead and reconcile this supposed injustice all this time later? Like, have you been holding a grudge that long? Imagine if the houses were still there. Yeah, they would probably be in awful condition. Just saying. They'd be old as fuck. We would all be sitting on a fortune. You're just greedy. I get it. The median wealth of black households in the United States is $24,100 compared to $188,200 for white households. Bro, I don't think that that's a fair comparison. That reeks of wage gap. According to the most recent Federal Reserve Board survey of consumer finances, the Times reported. Yeah, I don't buy that at all. I just don't fucking buy that. Because what are your qualifications for a black household, okay? And are you doing an apples to apples comparison of different neighborhoods, okay? A black person lives there, a white person lives there, or are you just taking a look at demographics, okay? Where do a lot of white people live? And considering the fact it's only 6.5% of African Americans are Californians, or Californians are African Americans. Sorry, got that mixed up. But this is throughout the United States. I just don't know how you come to those numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and protest those because I think they're at least in bad faith. But I could be completely wrong. It's just those numbers look off, to say the least. After a task force meeting in September, Newsom vetoed a bill that would have extended its life. Okay. The bill, which was introduced by Assembly and Task Force member Reggie Jones Sawyer, would have allowed them to deliberate for an extra year until 2024. Oh, they needed to come up with excuses for an additional year? Yeah, I don't think so. Jones Sawyer hoped that it would provide time to hear more testimony. I'll listen to people fucking complain about their EBT cards getting turned off. Like, I don't care. Shut up. But some disliked the idea. The bill, which would extend the betrayal... Oh, is a betrayal of black Americans, said Tiffany Quarles, a member of the audience during one hearing. We've been waiting 400 years. You personally? You an old bitch. I don't care about what you have to say then. Oh, we don't need an extension. We just want money now. I got kids to feed. Whatever. Task Force met with California Science Center in South Los Angeles in September. The meeting spoke at a time frame across which harms should be considered and whether payments should be made exclusively to Californians. No, just be stupid and pay fucking everybody. Have fun with that, California. You voted for this fucking nonsense. Now you can live with the repercussions of it. He also said that it had been consulting with historians on how reparations had been paid in previous circumstances, such as after World War II. Yeah, exactly. Like when all the Democrats rounded up, the Japanese folks, like George Takei and his family. It's funny how now he's back on the Democrat plantation, just calling everybody else Nazis, but I guess he really enjoyed his time behind chain link fences. Next meetings, according to the government website, are scheduled for mid-December. Now, you guys should just cut us a check right now, because I got Christmas presents to get for my relatives. Earlier this year, the task force put together a 500-page document outlining why African Americans that are descendants from the 19th century slaves were due comprehensive reparations. Oh, I was going to cut it off, but do we got some insight into this stuff? Because I want to see the belly aching on this one. Really doesn't look like any of these people are struggling. Oh, except for the one. I brought a baby carriage, but I needed to carry my very large leather purse. Funny. Proposal, reparations in California's draft proposal. Wow. See, they could only come up with that much after they've been waiting 400 years. You couldn't even crank out one fucking excuse a year. For shame. Estimate that black businesses have lost and stolen or destroyed property through racial terror. The racial terror that's going on right now, haven't you seen those clips that are out there of racial terrorists coming through the different brick and mortar stores, just taking whatever they want? Like there was this one fellow, I think that was in Detroit, different location, but I'm sure he'd also get reparations if you know what I'm saying. Came into a hardware store, stole some gloves and some jumper cables, and then just walked out. Or another fellow who would also fall probably under this proposal as well and would benefit so much that he wouldn't have to steal the display iPad from the Apple store in San Francisco. Yes, very funny to distribute it back to black Californians. Yeah, black business owners that were terrorized by racial terrorists. Okay, cool. Adopt mandatory curriculum for all teachers to take anti-bias training. Oh, great. It's not like there's enough activists in, classrooms everywhere. You just need to make sure that you really just drive it fucking home. Recruit black educators for K-12 schools. Provide scholarship to black high school graduates to cover 4 years of undergraduate and choice schools. Aren't there enough? Like, if we take a look at all of the different grants and scholarships that are available. But whatever. Compensate individuals who were forcibly removed from their homes during a state action, such as a park and highway constructions. But only if you're black, though, right? Like, fuck those people who owned land around Chavez Ravine when Dodger Stadium needed to get built. Fuck them. Who cares? Create funding to invest in environmental infrastructure. What does that have to do with being black? I don't get that one. Create equal access to parks and natural resources for black neighbors. What? Equal access to parks and natural resources because you just turn... No, sorry, you're too dark to be in the public park. The fuck? Compensate families who were denied inheritances they would have received if they were white. What are you talking about, bro? Are you talking about, like, is there like an exclusive African-American death tax that us white folks don't have to pay? Because I know whenever, my family passes away, not wishing that on anybody, of course, There's, capital gains taxes, there's inheritance taxes, there's death taxes. Oh, the feds and the provincial government, they're going to be getting their fair share, and everything that was stored away from my relatives, I will just be paid a mere pittance at the end of it. Not that I'm looking forward to that. That's very dark and awful, but not in the context of this, just that's a turn of phrase. Compensate those who have been discriminated and deprived of rightful profits from artistic, creative, athletic, and intellectual endeavors. How can you quantify this? All of this shit is so stupid. Raise the minimum wage in predominantly black industries such as food and agriculture. Wait, what? I thought you were mad about being slaves. Now you want to get paid better? I don't get it. Require scaling up a minimum wage for experienced workers. If you're experienced and you're still making minimum wage, I got news for you. You're fucking stupid. Require scaling. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that one again. I thought it was such a good joke. We needed to go back and run it back. Create a fund to support black-owned businesses. No, you're doing that with the first point, okay? And eliminate licensure barriers that harm black workers. How about we get rid of the government and small business? Okay, I'll meet you halfway. Would that be all right? No, you just care about race. I get it. Compensate people whose health has been permanently damaged by anti-black healthcare. What? No, I'm sorry. We keep the doctor's office walls nice and white and shiny, like our patients. Other than you, darky, we'll treat you if we have time to come into the waiting room. You just wait out there. I want to treat the white patients. The fuck what is going on here? Implement a policy to close the racial wealth gap in California. Well, that's a lot of that has to do with choices, but this video can only be so long. Implement a clear and detailed program to help African Americans obtain reparations. Listen, we need to pay stupid people, but you have to hold their hand through the process so that they can get benefits. We've seen through the welfare state, they're pretty good at getting those benefits, so I don't know if you need to put up any more money because of that, but okay. And finally, establish an Office of African American Freedmen Affairs to help document eligibility and prevent future harm. Yes, and no white people or nobody who wasn't, actual kangz can access some of this money that's out here, because we need to keep it within our community and shit. Man, earnestly, I hope this doesn't happen to Californians, mostly because there's some good people that are down there that don't deserve this type of burden placed upon their heads by a bunch of greedy, lazy, sloth-filled idiots. Then at the same time, I want to go full fucking clown world. Let's enjoy the decline and watch this fucking state burn to the ground by its own sloth-filled desire to prove that we're just such good people. It's like, yeah, it's funny. You're going to continue to whine and complain about racism and all that stuff. But all of this is contingent on making sure that the nice white man signs on the dotted line. Real good progress that you've established here. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.